Welcome to the bottom of the rabbit hole. Salute to all the Neo-Ologists tuning in. You are always appreciated. This video is going to explain Morpheus as Agent Smith in the Matrix Resurrections. That means there will be plenty of spoilers. And if this is your first time down here or you want to know everything about the Matrix universe, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you do not miss out on any future yellow-pilled content. Okay, so obviously we have a lot to talk about, but I quickly wanted to address something that seems to confuse a lot of people, so let's get right into it. What is the deal with Agent Morpheus and why is he called Agent Smith? In case anybody missed the Agent Smith part, Agent White refers to Morpheus as Agent Smith, and you can see actor Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is even credited as Morpheus/Agent Smith. Just below that, you can see that the actual Smith, played by Jonathan Groff, is just credited as Smith and not Agent Smith, but we talked a bit about that in the live stream video. For now, let's just focus on Agent Morpheus. In the Meeting with Morpheus video, here on this channel, I predicted the younger version of Morpheus that would be featured in the Matrix Resurrections would very likely be a Morpheus sim based on the events in the Matrix Online, 2 whole years before this movie was released. Now in the case of the Matrix Online, that digital version of Morpheus was created by the General, who is not to be confused with General Niobe. In the Matrix Resurrections, video game developer Thomas Anderson created this digital version of Morpheus. The term they used in the Matrix 4 is codex. In the Matrix Online, the term used was simulacra, and the term I use most often is a Morpheus sim. Potato, potato. All of these terms mean the same thing in this context. A program version of Morpheus created inside the Matrix. Now in this case of the Matrix Resurrections Morpheus sim, he was created in a video game Modal, which I think is where people get lost and is the real reason for a lot of the confusion, because most regular folks would say, what's a modal? Don't feel bad if you didn't know already, because unless you are a computer programmer, there's no reason why you should. Even Agent Morpheus doesn't know what it is, and he was born there. The definition of a modal in this context is the following. In user interface design for computer applications, a modal window is a graphical control element subordinate to an application's main window. A modal window creates a mode that disables the main window but keeps it visible, with the modal window as a child window in front of it. So in the context of the Matrix Resurrections, they even show you the window inside the window on Thomas Anderson's computer screen at one point. And the movie starts with Bugs entering the modal sequence through Sequoia's hack. Here's where things start to get tricky if you didn't get to connect all the dots. Bugs says the skylight was a window pane, meaning that they were able to enter the modal through a window pane that Neo created. That's what they mean when they say the modal was open. Neo left a way in, or a back door, so that an outside user could access this modal space. The user reference immediately reminded me of the Tron movies, which I always considered to be an unofficial prequel to the Matrix. In this parallel, if Thomas Anderson is equal to game developer Kevin Flynn, imagine Flynn combining Tron and Sark to create Clue instead of cloning himself. That's how I would describe Agent Morpheus in the Matrix Resurrections, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Once Bugs enters the modal, she sees what looks to be the opening sequence from the original Matrix trilogy at the heart of the City Hotel, where the original Matrix film starts, but she quickly notices there are differences in the simulation that don't match up with the original story. Sequoia theorized that the modal was a loop sequencer used to evolve a program. We later find out that program is Morpheus. When Agent Morpheus confronts Bugs, he brings her to Neo's old apartment through the white hallways. There she informs him that he is inside a modal and explains that it is a simulation used to evolve programs. Morpheus explains when he realized that he was digital sentience, and Bugs said that she needed to find the creator of the modal, then begins to explain how they can escape through the skylight in the Lafayette Hotel, which is the same way she got in. In case you forgot, in the original Matrix film, the Lafayette Hotel is where Morpheus originally offered Neo the red pill, and where we first see the deja vu cat when Cypher betrays the crew. In the Matrix Resurrections, Morpheus first has to choose the red pill in order to exit the modal, and Bugs explain that program extraction is similar to human extraction. In short, one has to choose to exit the Matrix. Morpheus tells Bugs that the white hallways will take them to the Lafayette, but after taking the red pill, he is disoriented and picks the wrong door, leading them back to the key shop where Agent White and Agent Jones are looking for bugs. They then retreat back into the white hallways, which takes them to a theater, and Sequoia nervously guides them to jump through a window that leads them to the window pane exit, aka the skylight, where they successfully exit the modal. The shot immediately after they exit the modal brings you to the computer screen in Anderson's office where he created that simulation. And there is a nice little Easter egg shot here where they show you he won the Game of the Year award in 1999 at the Game Awards. When Thomas Anderson investigates the reported breach of his modal program, he is interrupted by Jude, who asked if the modal was made with old Matrix code. Number one, and most importantly, the use of old code allows Neo more control over what he is creating and the ability to hide the modal from the analyst. Number two, Jude successfully distracted Thomas Anderson in that moment by taking him out for coffee, giving the analyst the opportunity to delete the modal altogether. When you zoom into the window on the screen, you can see that morph.bld.exe/Heart of the City files are missing. Now when the new Morpheus tries to get Neo to take the red pill in the Deus Machina bathroom, he refers to the original Lawrence Fishburne version as Morpheus Uno. At this point, we know the new Morpheus is completely self-aware about who he is, which is further proven when he goes on to say, "Not every day you meet your maker," verifying that Thomas Anderson did in fact create this version of Morpheus. Of course, Neo doesn't want to believe he is interacting with a character he coded. Later in the analyst's office, the analyst tries to convince Neo that he made all of this up in his head and that Morpheus wasn't real. But when Thomas Anderson meets Bugs, he asked her if she was the one who hacked his modal, to which she replied that she knew why Neo left the modal open. The reason being that Neo needed someone else to free Morpheus, so that the analyst wouldn't be aware of what he had done. Once Neo takes the red pill and successfully exits the Matrix, they jack him into the ship's construct, where he has a conversation with Morpheus, one of many callbacks to the original Matrix. Only this time, instead of explaining the state of the world, Morpheus defined who and what he is. And that's an algorithmic reflection of both Morpheus and Agent Smith, written by Thomas Anderson. This combination of counter-programming almost drove Agent Morpheus crazy inside the modal space, but that combo was chosen because both Morpheus and Smith forced Thomas to transition from Mr. Anderson to Neo. Or in other words, Thomas Anderson's modal experiment was an attempt to wake himself up by recreating the two entities that spent their entire lives looking for Neo. Thus, Morpheus is called Agent Smith because he was programmed to be an agent within the modal loop. Once unplugged from the construct on the Nemesine, Neo is introduced to the rest of the crew, where we meet Berg, played by Brian J. Smith, who happens to be the ship's resident Neo-Ologist. It was Berg who was able to find the modal inside the Matrix. They don't tell us what clue allowed Berg to find it specifically, but if there's one thing I do know, it's that Neo-Ologists, Matrixologists, and Yellow Pillars alike all know how to find Matrix-related clues. Right after we meet Berg, Neo is introduced to Morpheus in his real-world Synthian form. The hardware is described as an exomorphic particle codex, a relatively new technology that uses paramagnetic oscillation and allows Morpheus to exist in the real world. I absolutely love the strong T3000 vibes, and if you've seen the What If I Told You and Meeting with Morpheus videos here on this channel, you'll understand what the Skynet references are all about. I'll leave a link in the description for anyone who wants to get caught up. But back to Resurrection's Morpheus, it is the paramagnetic oscillation that allows Morpheus to sneak into the anomalium through an open vent and open the pathway for Bugs, Sebebe, and Kujaku to extract Trinity. Hopefully this video helped clear up some questions about Agent Morpheus, but if you still have more questions, you can let me know in the comments. Don't forget to show off your hardcore Matrix fan status by ordering the custom Resurrection Code Sneakers. If you appreciate this kind of yellow-pilled content, be sure to give @NeoMatrixology a follow on Instagram and Twitter, and remember, as one realizes that one is a dream figure in another person's dream, that is self-awareness.